Have you ever wondered why Dublin's postcodes are a hot topic of debate and a source of identity for its residents? Let's journey back in time and explore the origins of this intriguing local phenomenon. In the early 20th century, the city of Dublin was growing rapidly. As the population swelled and the city expanded, the need for a more efficient mail delivery system became apparent. In 1917, the solution was found in the form of the Dublin Postcode system. This new system divided the city into distinct postal districts, each identified by a unique number. What started as a practical measure for mail delivery soon took on an unexpected significance. The numbers assigned to each district weren't intended to carry any social weight or prestige. They were merely practical markers, designed to guide the postman on his rounds. But as we humans often do, we attached deeper meanings to these simple numbers. Over time, the postcodes of Dublin began to serve as more than just geographical markers. They became badges of identity, signals of social status, and even sources of rivalry. The north-south divide, marked by the River Liffey, became particularly contentious, with each side of the river claiming superiority over the other. As the city continued to grow and evolve, so too did the significance of its postcodes. Residents began to identify strongly with their postal district, and the postcode became a kind of shorthand for a person's socio-economic status. This was never the intention of the original system, but it's a testament to the power of human nature to imbue meaning into even the most mundane things. The Dublin postcode system, then, is more than just a practical tool for delivering mail. It's a microcosm of the city itself, reflecting its growth, its divisions, and its evolving social landscape. The postcodes have become a part of Dublin's cultural fabric, a source of pride, contention, and identity for its residents. It's fascinating to see how a simple mail sorting system could stir up so much controversy, isn't it? How did these numerical divisions become a symbol of social status and a cause for rivalry? A seemingly innocent question, but one that uncovers a complex and contentious issue that has gripped Dublin for decades. As the city grew and evolved, so too did the significance of its postcodes. Originally introduced as a simple tool for sorting mail, these numerical labels soon took on a life of their own. They began to represent not just geographic areas, but also the economic and social status of those who lived within them. Let's take Dublin 4, for example, or D4, as it's commonly known. Over time, this postcode became synonymous with wealth and prestige. It's an area home to leafy suburbs, upscale boutiques, and grand Victorian houses. To have a D4 on your address is seen by many as a sign of success. It's a badge of honor, a mark of having made it. But on the flip side, there are postcodes like Dublin 1. Located in the heart of the city, it's an area dotted with social housing and lower-income communities. D1 is often associated with struggle and hardship, a far cry from the affluence of its D4 counterpart. And then there's Dublin 8, a postcode that's been at the center of gentrification debates. Once seen as a less desirable part of town, it's now becoming a hotspot for trendy cafes, art galleries, and renovated properties. This change has sparked a fierce debate about identity and class, with many locals feeling pushed out by rising rents and a changing cultural landscape. These stereotypes, while not always accurate, have fueled a rivalry between postcodes. They've created invisible boundaries and fostered a sense of us versus them. The postcode you live in isn't just about where you get your mail, it's about who you are, what you represent, and how others perceive you. In the end, it's clear that in Dublin, postcodes are more than just a means of navigation. They're a social barometer, a marker of identity, and a source of pride or prejudice. The postcode you live in became more than just an address. It became a badge of honor or shame. But what has been the real impact of this postcode war zone on Dublin and its residents, you might ask? Well, let's delve into that. The postcode rivalry has had far-reaching consequences, some more visible than others. It has fostered a sense of social segregation that runs deep in the heart of Dublin. This division is not just a matter of postal codes. It has seeped into the very fabric of society, creating invisible walls that divide the city's residents. People from different postcodes are often perceived and perceive themselves through the lens of their postal code identity, an identity that carries with it certain stereotypes and assumptions. Property price disparities are another significant consequence. The value of a property can swing dramatically based on its postcode. This discrepancy in property prices has resulted in an economic divide, with wealthier residents congregating in certain postcodes while less affluent individuals find themselves confined to others. This has led to an uneven distribution of resources and opportunities across the city. The postcode war zone doesn't stop at affecting housing. It also potentially impacts education and opportunities. Schools in wealthier postcodes often have more resources and better facilities, leading to a disparity in the quality of education. This, in turn, can affect the prospects and opportunities available to young people growing up in different parts of the city. But it's not all doom and gloom. There have been attempts to dismantle these divisions and foster a sense of unity among Dublin's residents. Efforts have been made to bridge the gap between different postcodes and to challenge the stereotypes and prejudices associated with them. However, these initiatives have faced resistance, illustrating just how entrenched these divisions have become. The postcode war zone has indeed left its mark on Dublin, affecting its social fabric and everyday life. To change the narrative, it will require concerted efforts from all stakeholders: the government, the residents, and the wider society. Only then can we hope to transform the postcode war zone into a postcode harmony. So what does the future hold for Dublin's postcode war zone? Can we expect a change? Well, it's a debate that's been raging for years, and it's not likely to be resolved anytime soon. The battle lines are drawn, and it's a question of tradition versus progress. On one side, we have a strong contingent who argue for the preservation of the current system. They view the postcodes as an integral part of Dublin's identity, a kind of cultural heritage that binds the city together. They believe that changing the postcodes would erase a piece of Dublin's history and disrupt the city's sense of community. But on the other side, there are those who advocate for change. They argue that the current postcode system is outdated and inefficient, causing confusion and delaying deliveries. They point to the growth of e-commerce and the increasing importance of accurate and efficient postal services. They argue that a new, more logical system could help streamline deliveries, improve navigation, and even boost the local economy. And then there are those who are stuck in the middle, unsure of which side to choose. They recognize the problems with the current system, but they also value the history and culture it represents. They're looking for a compromise, a way to modernize the system while still preserving some of the city's heritage. So, what's the solution? It's a tough question, and one that will require a lot of thought, negotiation, and perhaps even a bit of compromise. But one thing's for sure, the debate is far from over. The future of Dublin's postcode war zone is still very much up in the air. What's certain is that the postcode war zone is more than just a matter of logistics. It's a battle for the soul of Dublin, a struggle between the past and the future. And as the city continues to grow and evolve, the stakes are only getting higher. Only time will tell if Dublin's postcode war zone will continue to define the city and its residents. Let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned about Dublin's postcode war zone. This isn't merely a tale of male misdirection or neighborhood rivalry. It's a story deeply entrenched in the city's history, social fabric, and economic dynamics. We began by tracing the origins of this unique conundrum, unraveling the threads back to when the city first introduced its postcode system. A well-intentioned plan to simplify mail deliveries, it unwittingly sparked a war zone, dividing the city into desirable and undesirable postcodes. It wasn't just about where you lived, but the number that came attached with your address and what that number represented. Then we delved into the heart of the postcode war zone itself. It's a battlefield where residents vie for social status and businesses grapple for lucrative opportunities, all based on the simple digits of a postcode. This is a war that doesn't need guns or armies. It's fought with property prices, school catchment areas, and the perception of safety. We also explored the ramifications of this postcode division. It's not just about the tangible impact, like soaring property prices or the struggle of businesses in lesser postcodes. It's also about the invisible lines it draws between communities, creating divisions where there should be unity. Looking forward, we examined the potential future of Dublin's postcode war zone. Will the city continue to be divided by these numerical boundaries, or will there be a shift in perception and policy that dissolves these divisive lines? As we wrap up this journey through Dublin's postcode Warzone, it's crucial for us to think critically about this issue. It impacts not just the residents of Dublin, but could have implications for cities worldwide as they navigate the complex intersection of geography, social status, and economic opportunity. As we've seen, the postcode Warzone is more than just a quirk of Dublin's mail system. It's a reflection of historical, social, and economic dynamics that continue to shape the city today.